Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today I'm going to get into another frequently asked questions video. That means I'm going to go into my comment section. I'm going to answer 3 different comments from 3 different videos and attempt to respond to your questions and concerns about Splinterlands or blockchain generally. If you're new to my channel, my name is Dwayne Cunningham. I go by Infidel1258. You can call me 12. Leave comments on every video, including this one, and I might just read yours and turn it into a video. If I do, I'd love to say thank you. So if I see your IGN, I will send some DEC to say thank you very much. Let's get into it. I have not looked at the comment section before doing this, so we'll see what you guys are curious about. We'll learn together. I wouldn't be surprised if it's around Rebellion or the Mage Wagons or Rage the airdrop. Let's see. Firebolts. Wow, that's some high quality content and a very informative video. Got me all pumped thinking about jumping in the wagons. Thanks for sharing. Appreciate the comment, Fire. And this is like the 2nd or 3rd comment I've seen you've been active on the comment section, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I really do enjoy reading the comments, guys. It matters. It helps me think about what you guys are concerned about, what you're interested in hearing about, and so I appreciate it. Keep it up. KGM Jam. Yes, I agree. We'll chase items that are cheap right now and come back to Rebellion later, I guess. And buying wagons through, though, for $2 in vouchers, and we'll slowly build them up. Thanks for the info. He's talking about a recent video where I was sharing, first of all, yesterday, Rebellion, the wagons launched. And so I activated 15 wagons, and I showed both how I did that, how I organize my cards, how I'm making the most of them, because you can just press the autofill, but you know, how many wagons do you need? Have you even thought about that? If you're going to get involved, the video could be valuable to you if you're trying to figure out exactly how to go about doing it. Like even deciding 15 battle wagons was appropriate. I did that by counting the number of cards I have within Rebellion. I did so using peak monsters as a tool and a place of reference. Thanks, KGM. Both of these were small comments. I'm not really counting those. I'm going to look for one now that's on a different video that's a bit more of a full or possibly controversial. Let's get into this one here. Robbie Mullis, what do you got to say? It looks like a paragraph, so let's read this one. So he's commenting on a recent video where I said this moment is unique now or never. And I was talking about how Rebellion cards themselves were actually probably far cheaper in the time of that recording than they will be over the next days and weeks. And because I want these Rebellion cards, I was trying to move into them now or never. And that's hyperbole, but now there was a unique moment, and I believe that's true. And I think I could show you even right now if we wanted to, but the prices of Rebellion have gone up. The cards themselves have gone up. The scarcity on the marketplace became really dramatic. Pretty much all the cards disappeared. That caused the price of the cards to spike. That caused pack openings to happen. And that's all of the things I said would happen. Now, some of the cards doubled. Like the Rebellion epics and gold foils, they doubled literally from $24 to $48, $50. I don't know if they're still there, but that was one of my contentions, that those prices of those cards might actually double. And literally in 5 days they did. Yeah, so they were around 24, 25 for the low buy, all the way up to 28. And as you can see, the cheapest is 39 on the gold foil epics. So that's nearly double. And down here, it's more than double. All of these cards, even Captain Fellblade, 28 bucks. Maybe it was 30 bucks for Captain Fellblade. That's 5 days ago. But scarcity matters, and that was the content of that video. Let's see what the comment has to say. Robbie says, there is an interesting opposite price movement coming towards the end of RB conflicts. Okay, I can already see where you're going, and I like it. And it'll be fascinating to figure out the best place to make the move. As we get through the legendary summoners, people will start dumping their gold foil Rebellion cards into the market, since the utility will get cut once the final conflict ends. If you wait longer, you'll get more legendary summoners, but you'll lose gold foil card value. If you cut and run halfway through the summoners, you'll probably get a lot more for your gold foils, but you'll risk missing out on the meta-defining dragon summoner or whatever. Dude, this is a fun comment, Robbie. Love it. I think he's dead on. Let's unpack what he's saying, and then I'll add to what I'm hearing you share. So as we look at the battle wagon window, We know that we're going to get 9 more airdrops. Rage is the next or the ongoing one at this very moment, but we know that we'll get 8 more after Rage. So if you're, what I said in that video, and I stand by it, is that the price of gold foil epics and legendaries will shoot to the moon. In fact, they've already doubled, like I just pointed out a moment ago. And I think there's room for more growth because there's still a number of people who are launching their wagons, and there will be continued pressure because these cards will be, you know, some of them are going to be summoners that will, like he said, be meta defining. If we look at Chaos Legion summoners, if we look at Untamed summoners, if we look at the airdrop cards in particular from both of those sets, I can tell you, and you know this, that they change the game. We're looking at cards like Kitty. We're also looking at cards like Lily Shieldpaw or Immortalis that have absolutely held, I don't know, I'm not going to try and compare it to Kitty, but absolutely they've controlled the meta. And I can show data on that. So if I show this is my lifetime data from Splintercoach, and this is over several months. Look at how much, like look at this top 5 of summoners that I've played. And now I know my face is in the way here, but look, Kelly's at the top, Chaos Legion. Lily Shieldpaw, Chaos Legion, Immortalis, Chaos Legion, Quix, Concrete Asik, Thaddeus, Grandmaster Wraith, Astral Entity. Now I know I didn't have Kitty for several months, and during the time of Splintercoach, I have not tracked Kitty primarily because I sold it before that. So you might say, well, Kitty still stands alone. Okay, yeah, let's look at the current month data because I've been renting Kitty every day. Look at that. Kitty is running a 654, 70, and 37. By far the most played summoner. It is absolutely still the king of kings when it comes to summoners. I'm sure if I had been renting a Jotun, it could slip in here too. So I do think Jotun and Kitty stand alone as the number 1, 2. But you know what's very interesting? In the current month, Lily Shieldpaw is still throwing down a 634 win rate with 45 wins and 26 losses. It's not dramatically less than. You know what I mean? Like, look, okay, so this is 107 games. This is 51, 71 games. Okay, so it's still slotting in, you know, 100 games versus 70 games is not a gigantic difference. It's not like Shieldpaw, I only get to play it once or twice or, you know, a few times a week. I'm playing this this is data across a month. So I'm playing this on a weekly basis 25 times. I'm playing this on a weekly basis, you know, or I'm playing this on a weekly basis 15 to 20 times. I'm playing this on a weekly basis 25 times. That's what we're kind of looking at here. Yes, Kitty's better. Yes, the win rate's amazing. Yes, it fits in more situations and it's a better card and it's worth the price tag probably at $1,000 nowadays. But Shieldpaw is amazing, and my point is Chaos Legion is amazing. Those airdrops, Shieldpaw being one of them, are amazing. And so coming back to his point, yes, the Rebellion airdrops are going to be powerful and you're going to want them. And so as we start to imagine that this is probably the Dragon Summoner, we need to understand that the pressure associated with increased conflict, increased card purchasing, increased pack opening, etc., has been this pronounced demand for Rebellion on the front end in this moment. That's why the video was called "This Moment is Unique," because it's right now that there's intense buying pressure. But he's saying as we get over here, or even maybe into here, you're going to see an interest in selling those Rebellion cards, maybe particularly some of those gold foils that have, like I pointed out, really radically appreciated. If your card is doubled in the last 5 days, you're probably now in the overbought territory, or you're like, you know, the price is pumped. And if there weren't a reason to use it in the form of conflicts, it would make a lot of sense to liquidate, wouldn't it? If you double your money in 4 days, doesn't it make sense to take profits? Yes, but this buying pressure will sustain itself at least toward the end. And I think he's right. As we get toward the end, you'll see selling pressure become, because you're losing a certain utility. Think of the conflicts in the sense of Modern League. Cards like Kitty had a very expensive price tag, $3,000, $2,500 for a max copy. The rental cost was around 1,000 to even 2,000 DEC a day. That was even like 8 weeks ago before Rebellion came into the Modern. And when Rebellion came into the Modern and Untamed shifted out, that utility translated into a market reduction in the price. So now the card's not renting for 2,000 DEC a day. Kitty is renting for 400 DEC a day. Look at that, 500 DEC a day. I rented one for 400, and if you look at its sell pressure, or the sell cost, it's still around $1,000, I think. There's an $1,100 copy for a max one. Recently, there was one for $1,000. It must have sold. So my point stands. Pressure, the demand and the interest in holding those assets fell when they lost a certain type of utility. Certain audience of people said that I don't want Kitty anymore because I'm only playing in Modern. And to the commenter's point, as we get over here and the airdrops are no longer available for Rebellion, or becoming fewer and fewer of them are remaining, that will be a certain utility around Rebellion cards that will disappear, evaporate, and that should translate to a reduction in Rebellion card prices. And some of the holders of these Rebellion cards are not particularly interested in holding them for, years and years and years. It's a pronounced, like it's right now they want to hold it over the next 6-9 months. I guess 9 months because it's one per month. And within the next 6 to 8 months, some of those people will become sellers. Thinking through this sort of future pressure or consideration is absolutely how one plays the game within the game of Splinterlands. And it's an amazing comment. And I think this, I'm not saying you need to take some sort of action today over what he has said, but I think you should wrestle with his comment, because I think it could translate into financial considerations in the next 6 months, 5 to 7 months, that could add value to your portfolio if you recognize what he's seeing and if you take steps to interact with that and that likelihood, let's say. Okay, let's get another comment. Okay, so we got a comment from NFO Guides. Check out his channel. Axler Twin Blade, great guy, and creator of Baron's Toolbox. One of the ways you can interact with your land within Splinterlands. I find this is better. I love the way that it depicts the monsters on the land. So this is great. Check it out, Baron's Toolbox. NFO Guide says, this is a recent video, by the way, where I was talking about Richer Than You Think. I was talking about how a clip from the recent town hall where Matt comments on Soulbound cards being made transferable, when that'll probably happen, which is the middle of 2024, and the price that'll probably cost. And Axler jumped on the channel recently and shared an idea around what he thought that should look like. So let's see what he says in this comment. Let's get this one first. It looks like he's got 2 comments. So the first part, it really seems like a bait and switch. Well, okay, I can concede that it does seem like we believed that these would be cheaper. So in some sense, the community might feel like the cost to unlock the Soulbound cards is unfair, unreasonable, unacceptable. And that might feel like a quote unquote bait and switch, because it's going to be relatively affordable. You've earned them for your time and attention, and now you got to pay for them. Okay, probably not very much, right? Oh, actually a lot. That might be what you're referring to. And I can understand that sentiment, but I personally reject that sentiment because I don't feel that any number was ever listed. I don't feel that we ever expected one specific number. To me, it's as simple as this. Until they decide, until they formalize what that should look like, everything is up in the air. And they still do this so many times with respect to every sort of development point. Until it's finalized, it's not finalized. And so I don't agree with the bait and switch idea. But then you carry on. We have been getting reward cards the whole time thinking they were a nice asset. So they still are. Why are they not? But really they are now making us buy our own reward cards. Buy them in what sense? Buy them to sell them, yes. Buy them to rent them, yes. So you have to pay. The framing that you're using is that you have to pay to have your asset. And that's not true, is it? You don't have to pay to have this quote nice asset. Your asset is still going to be on your account regardless of whether you burn this DC or not. It's going to be on your account. It's going to be playable through your account. It's going to be, unlocking free SPS because it'll help you win. It'll be an asset that you can enjoy, period. There's nothing that's changed about that. It isn't that you had the asset, it was flexible and you could use it, and now they're taking away flexibility. You've had the asset, you could use it, and that same flexibility is always continuing to exist, but now they're saying, hey, we're going to give you some extra flexibility, utility, use case, profitability. and you are saying it's not good enough, or you don't like the new sort of way of doing it. Fair. I'm not saying I don't agree with you, but that's okay. You're allowed to have your opinion on that. But it's not as if they had flexibility, transferability, and they've taken that away from you. They never promised that. They never had that. And now they're offering that. And if you don't like the terms with which that is made accessible to you as a player, you have to remember that you have a choice in this, just like all Splinterlands things. So, you didn't own them in the sense that I think you are. You felt you always did. You've always only owned them in the soul-bound sense, in the non-transferable sense, and that's all you'll ever have unless you choose to go through that extra step that is totally optional. So point 3: if it cost me full price to unlock the cards, it's equal to the other cards on the market, or it's not really equal to the other cards on the market because I have to unlock it for something and then sell it for something. That's his point. If I have to pay $1 to unlock a card and it's only worth $1, why would I do that? Great point. But you know what this means? The logic you're applying directly speaks to the probable scarcity of the asset. Think that through. If a card costs $1 to, like on the marketplace, it only carries a value of $1, then you're only going to pay less than $1 for it in order to make it transferable, because there's no profit in it otherwise, right? Apart from other there's other slight considerations we could bring into the fold, such as, and we need to bring into the fold. It's possible you need one more copy on your second account and you're willing to, pay the DEC penalty to unlock an Idri Fire to see that it gets translated over to the other account, so you bring that one up. So you're gonna do this, even if you hate this idea, because you're gonna have different accounts in different scenarios where you'll want one more or a few more copies or a lot more copies of certain cards. So you might not be a net seller, but this scenario and this availability will create sales pressure through you, because I feel confident that Axler likes this game enough, based on my limited knowledge of his commitment within Splinterlands, in land and development around it, etc., that you're going to be coming to the market finding those cards, because everyone who likes this game recognizes the value of certain cards like this. So if you're saying to me, this is an epic, and epics are worth $1, and you're saying, I will not pay $1 worth of DEC to unlock this epic, because this epic will not therefore sell them for more than $1. That's just wrong, because it's not about what it costs to unlock that determines its price solely anyways. It's about its own scarcity, its own utility, its own desirability. So the real factors that lead to a conversation around price for any card, not just Soulbounds, is how much do people want it and how much are they willing to pay for it. And that is a factor or a consideration that comes out of how many copies exist. So if you're telling me that the cost is prohibitive to bring these Soulbounds to market, which I might agree with, 18, 17 times, whatever he said it was, and it was, for those who are new to the conversation, they're looking at taking the collection power and timesing by 18, I think. I think that was the figure. And so that would translate to a substantive amount of DEC to make a certain card marketable. But that's just going to mean that fewer copies reach the market, which is going to impact the price of those remaining cards. If a 10,000 make it to market, you'll get one price. Maybe it's $1 a unit. If 1,000 make it to market, you have to multiply that number, right? Because there's X demand, and if the supply shrinks by 1/10, like if it's only 1/10 of the existing supply, you get 1,000. It's going to be a $10 card. If there's only 100 that make it to market, it's going to be do you see what I mean? It'll be a $100 card. And those are rough numbers, just speaking very broadly, because it isn't just about supply either. Like I said, it's also about the utility, because it's the desirability of that particular asset complicates the matter. So maybe the card sucks and nobody wants it, even though there's only 10 cards or 100 copies of the card. If nobody wants it, nobody buys it. If nobody buys it, the price is not high, even if there is a small supply. But it does not matter if it costs $1 million DEC to bring a card to market. Recognize that those hurdles to bring it to market are just going to exacerbate the limited supply, which is going to drive the cost of each individual unit well above market value for other similar epics. So it's not logical to say an epic is worth $1. I'm not going to pay $1 to burn DC to get it, make it transferable. Every epic's different. Supply and demand rules apply to consider the price that would be logical. And so even if it costs $5 to bring Adri to market, if I can sell that card for 10, that is absolutely something I would strongly consider. Especially since there's a lot of epics within the Rebellion market that are $170, $250 that are meaningful. So no, I think you're just wrong about this point, in the sense of, you know, $1 worth of DC would be prohibitive because I'm not going to get that back. That doesn't hold water. That argument doesn't hold water. I see what you're saying, but it's more complicated than that. And it might be prohibitive to bring the cards to market, but that does not end the story. It just means the few copies that will eventually make it there, regardless of price, are going to be worth even more. And finally, I really think my concept of never having to permanently unlock or allowing a temporary unlock was far better. Okay, I see the value in and we talked about this on my channel. If you want to go check out the other video, look up Axler Twin Blade on my channel or NFO Guides, and you'll find another video where we talked about this in detail. About a half an hour we talked. So I like your idea, but I don't think that this is the problem that you or maybe some other people are going to feel. I think this is exciting. I think regardless of what we thought was going to happen with these Soulbounds, we were never promised anything. And so this new aspect of transferability, even if it is, you know, expensive to implement, is a means towards transferability. And I think the path to scarcity through Soulbound, making assets Soulbound, is interesting because it actually commits people to investing time and attention, not just money. And now we get to a place where they're going to be made transferable for a limited window of time. But even yourself admitting that you probably won't sell many of them means that many people are going to do what you do, which again makes those of us who will bring some to market that much luckier, that much richer, that much happier. And so it's about looking past what you think you might have wanted more and seeing the value in the opportunity that truly exists. Because you could say all day long, it's not what I want, or it's not what we thought, or I don't like it very much, or, you know, it could be better. And if that's where you land the plane, you might be overlooking or missing great opportunities to better your deck, improve how you play, increase your rewards, and maybe even profit in the short term as you flip cards into that buying pressure and that exciting moment when they become transferable. So I just disagree like globally on it. Not saying you're wrong about, you know, your plan would have been better. I'm just saying if this is how they go, this is how they go. And I'm not going to get hung up on what would be my favorite. I'm just going to live within the reality of what they actually do so that I can seek opportunities to improve what I'm doing here within Splinterlands and maximize my benefit. And I want you guys or whoever watches the channel to do the same thing. So Axler Twin Blade NFO Guides, I appreciate the comment. Thank you for doing that, even if I disagree. Okay, I think one more and then we'll wrap. There was a lot of comments on that video. I'm not surprised. Because one, it's exciting that we're going to get new Soulbound cards. Two, people are excited to theoretically be able to sell them for profit. Three, people thought it was going to be totally different, like Axler, and they want it to be different, and now they're frustrated. So there's a combination of excitement and frustration that come together to, you know, drive extra views on a video like that. It has almost 1,000 views, but you know, that's exciting. I want to see passion within our game. So I'm not gonna grab any more comments from that, even though there's like 40 comments on that. Great, thanks guys, by the way. Let's wrap with one quick comment. And it's a comment we've answered before, but it's worth touching base on again because there's always new audience, and it'll be a quick comment. It's that same video though. This moment is unique and now or never. It's that first comment from this video where we talked about how this is different and how the airdrop experience within Splinterlands is exciting, and I'm excited to participate, and you know, I think you might want to as well. And then Chung chimes in and he goes, "Whales only event. If you're an average player, your chances are too slim." I need to say, People who bring this attitude to any part of the game that you can't personally enjoy don't understand what this game is. You are missing it. And your inability to see what you're missing will actually hurt you. Not anybody else, not the game, not me, not the developers. It just hurts you. So I'm hoping that you will genuinely listen to this. I don't say this out of animosity or frustration. I say it out of an attempt to appeal to you and to anyone who might be feeling this way. You need to stop looking at things from, this isn't going to benefit me personally in any sort of obvious way, therefore there is no benefit to me. You need to recognize the breadth of impact that a decision like this new airdrop can bring to the game that you're, I presume, playing and enjoying. Here's some examples, and they're tangential they're not going to be directly putting money in your pocket. But guess what? In a game where you have to buy your own assets to improve what you're doing and to receive more rewards for your time and effort, obviously there's a financial commitment. So then, no, it's not going to, this new airdrop process is not going to put cards or assets or money into your pocket unless you personally buy battle wagons, unless you personally have rebellion cards, unless you personally, stake those and actively make that effort, right? So I get it. You might not benefit from this directly, but absolutely indirectly you can. And that whole video is like, look, there's going to be a doubling in card prices. Do you see this? And I just showed you at the beginning of the video, there was literally a doubling of card prices on Epic Gold Foils in particular, but actually a lot of the card prices ticked up. And I can show you more data quickly. My Rebellion assets moved from, I had $1,000 worth of Rebellion cards, and then I bought $1,500 worth of Rebellion cards, and now we're at $28.37. And that's a $340 price increase on my Rebellion assets in 5 days. Or, that's a 15% bonus or something like that. It's pretty close to that. I think it is 15%. And that's meaningful. And so even if you watched that video from the perspective of not how I could participate in the airdrops directly, but how I can participate in the action of this moment, and you bought one of those gold foils for $24, you could sell it now for $39 at the cheapest, all the way up to, probably 50 or 60 for some of these. This card was one of the cheaper ones, and there's just none on the market at all right now. Last one sold for $100. Are you kidding me? This was literally, I think the cheapest one, I think it might have been $24 a BCX, and look, the last one sold for $100. Somebody quadded their money on that. Do you understand that? So look, it's not just about how you can benefit from the direct implications of the airdrop. And I really want you to hear this. There are always incidental ways. There's the game within the game of Splinterlands of how you can receive more reward for the same time and effort, the same attention by playing the market, because that's part of the game of Splinterlands. And people who don't see that actually don't see the fullness of this game. Maybe that's why some people think it's not that entertaining. You hear criticism about how this game is not particularly fun, and it's like, I've been playing for 5 years and I still play it every single day. I actually look for more opportunities to play it in guild brawls, in tournaments, etc., because it's actually awesome. There's so much depth of experience. The game is always changing. So suffice it to say, something can be for the whales and yet give incidental benefits to those who are not whales. And I didn't even talk about how driving attention to the game better gives you an opportunity to receive more reward for the SPS you're earning, right? If there's more players that come because they're excited to see the price appreciation on cards, what do you think that's going to do for you as a player of the game within the SPS you're earning, or for the cards that you already hold? Because I assume you hold some. So there's just a shortness of vision and perspective that I want to address in this comment, and it's not out of a place of hate or anger. It's out of a place of hopefully helping you recognize the opportunity that's sitting in front of you. Because if you change that perspective on what you don't have, being now focused on what you could have, that vision will change everything about your life. Forget about just Splinterlands. I'll leave it there, guys. Have an amazing day. God bless.